The following video was filmed at the Toronto Outdoor Adventure Show on Saturday, February 22nd on my presentation, Camping with a Bear. I hope you enjoy it.
All right, you ready to get started? Okay. Addis, are you filming me? All right, good afternoon. Welcome to my presentation on camping with a bear. Now I've got some amazing prizes to give away today after the presentation. So if you pay attention and you can answer a couple skill testing questions, you might walk away with some free swag. Now I have seen a bear while I've been camping in a car campground about 10 years ago in New Lake. There were lots of people around. It wasn't anything close to being alone in the wilderness. And I've also seen lots of evidence of bears on many of my trips. I also saw a lynx in 2021 on a portage, which is a magical moment. But I have never ever seen a bear in the backcountry while on a trip in over 20 years. So for me, it was a very magical moment. Who am I? Well, my name is Christina. I'm also known as CamperChristina. And in 2002, I went on my very first backcountry trip and I fell in love. Since 2015, most of the trips that I've been on have been solo trips, and I love going on remote, challenging solo adventures. Now, most of these challenging trips I do over the long weekends in the summer. There's 5 of them. I add a date at the beginning, the end, and it turns into a 5, 6, or 7-day trip. Now, 2024 was a bit of a challenging year for me. I had a lot of health issues, and I actually ended up missing my very first 2 big challenging trips. So when August long weekend came along, I decided that I wanted to do a unique trip that wasn't too challenging. So I picked this route in Quebec called the Bruce Circuit. And for those who speak French, I know I'm not saying it right. It actually means brush in English, which is what I'm going to refer to it as. 58 kilometers of paddling, 14 portages. I know I said I didn't want a challenging trip, but they're spread out over 5 nights, 6 days, and the total distance is under 4 kilometers. So, if you're interested in how I found this route, it's in an area called Canoecopia, and you just go to their website. They have 4 canoe camping circuits there. First one is called Cigarette. It wasn't too fun of the name, because it's a really short loop, so it's a bit of a drive to do that. Second one was Tuk Tuk, which is something I might do in the future. Adventurers, which is a bigger route, is more like an end-to-end type of a route. And the Bruce Circuit, which is the one that I picked. And the reason is because I was told that it was a more remote area, which is kind of a shtick. If you're wondering where the portage information is, because this is just what you saw, there's also a second page on the website that gives you all the distance information, the difficulty level of the portages, as well as the GPS coordinates. Now, I used 2 of these coordinates out in the field, and they weren't even in the same, city. So, I wouldn't count on those too much. 4-hour drive from Muskoka to the office in Barron, where I went to register for my permit. It was August long weekend. We were in the middle of a heat wave, and 35 degrees Celsius, really, really hot. I also thought the name of the town was pretty interesting. Just a random coincidence. So I got to the access at Lac Ostobonique, and I was ready to set off on my adventure. It was about 5:36 p.m. at night, so I didn't do too much that day. I just headed out about 12 kilometers of paddling into my first campsite. Now, as you can see, it's a bit swampy. August, long weekend, bug season. Not the greatest campsite, but there was a flat spot for me to put my tent, and I settled in for the night. And the next day I got up and I was ready for my first big day in Quebec. So I started paddling through the lake, and I saw something that I've never seen before on a trip. Here's a short video. I hope you enjoy it.
Oh my gosh, how cool. day one in the moose already. Amazing. Look at it. Holy smokes, that's so amazing.
That's a good thing it's a big screen because it's a teeny tiny moose, but he's splashing around and frolicking in the water. I've seen moose on trips before, but I've never seen a moose acting like this. And it was so cool to see, and I thought, wow, I'm in for a great adventure if I'm seeing this on my first full day of my trip. So I started doing my portages. They were a bit overgrown. They were very wet, and they were full of my favorite thing. Anyone? Everyone?
Sucky muck.
Sucky muck. And I had some fun leftovers. There were some missing portages. This one in particular, I was bushwhacking for about an hour, trying to find the elusive portage. I was just about ready to give up, and I went back to the canoe and I looked across the creek and I saw something flickering, and there was the portage. I mean, how could I have missed it? Not quite exactly where it was supposed to be on the map, but I made it through. And I was on my way, and after another overgrown portage, I was on like 6 miles, or like 6 miles. So I'm looking for the campsite. Now, they were pretty hit and miss so far. There were campsites on the map, but they weren't actually there in real life, and vice versa. So I wasn't quite sure if there was a campsite. So I'm paddling around the lake, and I see a sign, and I'm so excited, right? It's my second night. I'm like, please give me something good. I've been working my butt off out here. And I pull up to the access, not too bad, and this was the campsite. Now, if there wasn't a fire pit there, I wouldn't have really known I was on a campsite. But I did a little bit of landscaping, and I ended up being able to find a spot to put my tent and my bug shelter. And yes, the bug shelter was required. August, long weekend, buggy, hot, foresty. So I got up the next day, and now it was day 3 of my adventure. And all I had to do was go across the lake to the nice portage there waiting for me. But this is what I found. So I lifted the canoe, fully loaded over this piece of land, and I swapped through the swamp, and I bushwhacked through the forest, and I couldn't find a trail to save my life. So after about an hour again, in the heat, I went back out into the main lake, and I remember seeing a white piece of wood on a tree. And I thought, oh, that was kind of strange. So I went back there. There's the portage. I mean, it was kind of close to where it was supposed to be. And I slopped through there. You know, all the portages were very overgrown and didn't look like they were well maintained. So challenging in a sense, but not, you know, Lady Ellen River challenging. So after another challenging portage, I was back and I had 2 portages left. I was pretty excited to get to my campsite. I was hoping for something really good this time. And I started seeing signs of life. Now, after the next portage, I would be getting onto a lake that was a bigger lake, and I was told that there would be cottages, motorboats, that kind of stuff, not my scene. So I was trying to get in and out of there quite quickly. So as I got to the portage, I saw some more signs of life. Not my favorite thing. But they left me a little bit of a spot there to get through, so hefted my canoe up over that and did the portage. And now I'm on the next lake, and I'm happy. I've got a little bit of paddling, less than 2 kilometers, and then a small portage, and I'm on my lake for the night. So I start paddling through the lake, and I'm getting close to the portage, and all of a sudden I start seeing these motorboats coming, and they're all going to the portage. There's 4 or 5 of them. They're full of people, grandma, grandpa, nieces, nephews, and uncles. Everybody was in there. They're all going to the portage, so I'm a little bit, you know, nervous. I'm by myself. People told me before I went on this trip, people in Quebec do not like people from Ontario. So I was really nervous. So I get up to the portage. This is the parking area. And these people were the nicest people you could ever meet on a trip. They were lovely. They asked if they could carry my gear. They couldn't believe that I was out there all by myself, in the middle of nowhere, all alone. And they said they never see canoe trippers go through this area. So for me, that's pretty exciting, right? Because I don't like to see people out on my trips. Now the reason they were there was because on the other side of the portage, there's these beautiful waterfalls. and it was really hot, so they were all just cooling off and having a nice day with their families. And they were so nice. We chatted for a while. They all waved goodbye to me as I took off onto Lac des Cartes, which is my third campsite lake of the trip. And I start paddling through, and I look up, and there's 3 bald eagles flying. And I'm like, okay, I know you guys can't actually see that they're bald eagles, but in the video you can tell. And when I was editing, I didn't even realize, but I thought, 3 bald eagles. I'm on the 3rd day, the 3rd campsite night. It's got to be a good omen, right? So I keep paddling through, and I get to my campsite. It's on an island on Lac des Cartes, and you can just see here already how beautiful it is. The water's crystal clear, beautiful rocks, trees, just stunning. I get up to the top, and it's beautiful, gorgeous campsite on an island, and I said right away, you know what, I'm staying here for 2 days. I had an extra day planned into the trip, and I thought, this is it, I'm staying here. This is worth all the struggle and all the challenges that I went through to get here. So I sit down and I have a late lunch. It's around 3:30, 4 o'clock. You can see there, 31 degrees in the shade. Enjoying my little lunch, and then I was sitting there kind of surveying the campsite. I decided I was going to set up right over here and packed up all my stuff, put my food away, picked up my tent and poles, and started walking over. And all of a sudden, something caught the corner of my eye. And there out on the rocks was a bear. And I couldn't believe it. I'd never seen a bear on a backcountry trip in over 20 years of camping. So I drop my stuff immediately, and I get my phone out, and I start filming. And just for the record, when I'm taking these videos, as you can see by the moose, I'm not looking at the video. I got the phone running, and whatever I catch. So I caught a little clip of the end of the bear, but I think the entertaining part is my voice. I sound kind of a little bit like Kevin Callan when he's doing angel impersonations. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but here's the video. I'll play it. I hope you enjoy it.
God, there's a bear! Oh my God, I've never seen a bear out here before my whole life. Oh my God. I was just about to go set up the tent and it was out on the rocks. Oh my God, I'm not gonna sleep tonight. Holy shit.
There's more, don't worry. That was just the first time. So this is me now. I'm all over the place. I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm scared, I'm laughing, I'm crying, I'm just all over the place. I'm making videos with you guys all watching, but you're not really there with me, but you kind of are. And then I reach into my pocket, and I have a Reese cup in my pocket. And I just start laughing hysterically, because bears like peanut buttery treats. And here I've got one in my pocket, and there's a bear, and oh my gosh. So I started thinking, okay, I have to figure out what I'm going to do. Every time I look out on those rocks, that bear is there. He's not there anymore, he's gone, but I don't really know what to do. It's around 5 o'clock now, and I look back and thinking back to this trip report. Now when I did research on this trip, I couldn't find a lot. There weren't any blog posts or YouTube videos or anything like that. So I had found this one trip report on my CCR from 2009. And it was kind of interesting to me because it said most of the portages were short and level and very easy. That wasn't my experience so far. I mean, I've done some pretty challenging portages. I think my meter is pretty good. I wouldn't say they were crazy challenging, but they weren't easy. Then it says the portage between Lac des Cartes is tough. That's the one I have to do next. So this scared me a little bit, and I thought, I don't know if I can really do that right now. I'm pretty tired. It's been a long day. I've done a lot of stuff. So I start walking around the campsite, and I see these axe marks in the trees. Now, even in the video, I say they're axe marks. And I know they're axe marks. Most of you probably know they're axe marks too. But as I walk around the campsite, there's 7 or 8 trees, and they're just riddled with these axe marks. And I consider myself a fairly decent human being, and I'm thinking there's just no way people did this. They just couldn't have. Some of these have to be from a bear. So this will make sense in a few minutes. I go to the fire pit, and there's a chicken salad container in there. I open it up. It's still wet inside, so it's fairly recent, but there's no teeth marks in it, nobody's mauled it, nobody's attacked it. It's perfectly fine. So I'm okay, well, that's something. So there were a lot of reasons that I decided not to leave the campsite, which is what I decided to do. The bear, when I saw it, it was already walking into the forest. I didn't yell or scream. I was waiting actually because I was trying to get a video of it. And I didn't want it to run off, but it sensed me, it smelled me, and it knew I was there, and it went off. So I didn't really have any reason to be concerned or afraid. I was in a remote area. I was in a high traffic area. The people that were there that live on the lake, they were like, oh, we never see canoe trippers. I know that camp kids go through here, which is probably where the X-Blazes maybe came from, but it's not like super crazy popular like Algonquin or Killarney or Grundy. The next portage was noted as being tough, and I didn't know if it was really safe for me to carry on. I didn't have a lot of energy left, I didn't want to hurt myself, and I just thought it was safer to stay, as well as I kind of wanted to stay because I felt like I should. I have a course online called Backcountry Camping for Beginners. I teach people how to, deal with bears when they're out based on courses I've taken, and I thought, well, the bear's gone, my food is stored properly, there's no reason I should leave. I'm good, he's gone. So I decided that I was finally going to set up my tent about 3 hours after I saw the bear. I set it up all the way on the other side of the campsite, away from where the claw marks were on the trees. Now you get it, right? So somewhere in my mind I was like, no, okay, there's no claw marks over here. I know there weren't. I know there were X-Blazes, but these tricks you play with yourself to make yourself feel safe sometimes is what you do out there. So I decided that I was going to carry on with my day. I, worked really hard to get to this beautiful campsite, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do all the things I normally do. I'm going to go for a nice swim. I'm going to cook a delicious dinner. Why would I have a freeze-dried meal in a bag when I can make garlic Alfredo fettuccine with chicken and mushrooms and film a CamperChristina cooks video with my back to the forest for 30 minutes? But I did. I was fine. I ate the delicious dinner with my back to the forest. I then brought my bear vaults into the forest to the bear. So here you go, stashed it away for the night. I saw a beautiful sunset. I had a nice fire. And then somewhere around 10 o'clock, I said, you know what? It's time to go to bed. I'm going to go to bed. Took everything I had with me except my canoe and my food stuff. My pan I hung from the tree. My pot, I cleaned it out really good. I filled it with water, which is a process that I do that seems to work. And I took my yoke with me because I thought, oh, this is really loud, right? So I'll put it in the vestibule of my tent, and if the bear comes in the night, I can just unzip it, shake it, and it'll scare the bear away. So I didn't want to bring my pan because it's got food scent on it. So I did that. And next day I woke up around 6 a.m. It was a great looking day. Went into the forest, got my bear balls, took my pan down, pot's there, everything was fine, nothing was touched. And I felt pretty good. I was like, okay, this is good. This bear's not here, he's gone. So I decided I'd have some oatmeal, and then nature called. So I answered. This is just a reenactment photo, but just a makeshift privy. They don't have privies there. It's at Quebec in this area. And sat down, did my business, and then all of a sudden I hear something coming through the forest. Now let me tell you that, if you've seen a bear, you know this, but I've never seen one. When I hear chipmunks and squirrels coming through the forest, I'm like, oh, it's a bear. When a bear comes through the forest, you know it's a bear. There's a different sound, and I knew right away that the bear was there and he was coming. So he's peeking through the forest at me. Hello, I'm over here. And I'm like trying to get myself together because I'm pooping. And the bear's kind of like looking through the forest like, well, what are you doing? Were you pooping? And I'm like, oh, yes, as a matter of fact, I was pooping. And I start kind of side walking over to where my tent is. It's a bit of a distance away from my privy, but I get over to the tent and the bear's kind of following me through the forest. Then I reach under, and I get my little tambourine out. And I start shaking it and I say, go away there, go away. And the bear kind of is like, oh, what is that? Let me get a little bit closer. That looks kind of neat. supposed to do. So I grab my pan, and I'm banging it on the rocks, and I'm screaming at the bear to go away. He's so cute, and I feel so guilty. But I'm going to go away, and this kind of gets a little bit of a reaction out of the bear. But then he stands up on his hind legs. And you guys know when a bear stands on his hind legs, that's a little bit scary. So then I'm like, okay, I gotta go to the last thing, which is be big and imposing. So I grab my fire poker stick and I stand up on that bench you guys saw earlier, and I scream, go away! And it finally impacts the bear. And he doesn't shoot off into the forest, but he kind of just slowly walks away. And I'm like, okay, I think maybe I'm not gonna have oatmeal for breakfast today. I think maybe I should pack up and leave. And as I'm doing that, the bear starts popping up all over the campsite like a whack-a-mole. And every 10-15 minutes I'm seeing him. I go down to the canoe to get something, and here he is once again. Caught a little bit of a better clip, and actually when I was editing for this presentation, I noticed at the end there's something in his mouth. I don't know if you can see it. Like I said, I'm holding the camera here. I'm not really paying attention to what I'm filming, but here's the video. I hope you enjoy it.
Found him. He's on the water. He's just down by the water. I don't think he means me any harm. I don't know. Go on, bear, go! It's by my boat. Where's my stick? Go on, bear, go! Go! Get out of here! Thought he was gone.
Thought he was gone? He wasn't gone. So, at this point in time, I'm like, I need to get in my tent, pack up my stuff, and get out of here. Then it starts raining. So, I get in the tent, and all I can hear is, the rainfall. I can't hear anything. I don't know if the bear's out there. I don't know what's going on, but I start packing up. I've got the door open a crack. I've got my pan. Every 2 minutes, I'm banging it on the rock, and I'm screaming for the bear to go away. I get my stuff packed, it stops raining, I get over to the canoe, I bring everything I have with me except for my big backpack. And it's on the other side of the campsite. I flip the boat over, put my stuff in, I walk over, and there's the bear. He's waiting for me at the shoreline. And, my bag is here, the bear is here. Maybe you guys sitting here in Toronto in this audience thinking, it's not really that close. But let me tell you, at the 6th time I've seen this bear now, it's pretty close. So, I talk to the bear. I say to the bear, hey bear, I want to come over there, I'm going to get my bag, and then I'm going to leave, okay buddy? And so the bear is kind of like watching me, and I get the bag, and I film the whole thing. It'll be in my video series coming out a couple weeks after this presentation. And I get back to the canoe, I bang my pan the whole way, and I get in my boat and I escape Bear Island. And as I'm paddling on my day 4, I'm looking out to see if he's going to come out on the rocks. I want to get a nice picture, video, after all that, but he's gone now. Am I really? So if you're wondering, yes, the next portage was a slog. It was very wet and it was full of soggy mud. Right? It's some gymnastics. At the end there was a nice real-life slip and slide. At the end of the portage, got to the end, did a bit of portaging, did some paddling, and I saw some beautiful scenery. And eventually I made it to my last campsite of the trip. Now, the first thing I did, I checked the trees to make sure there were no claw marks. And again, I knew there were X marks, but my mind was like, well, you know what? There's no bears here. I'm good. So I had a relaxing time there, had a nice fire, reflecting on what happened to me. And the next day I got up and started my way through the lake back to La Costa Bonita. Did a few more portages, did a bit more paddling, saw some beautiful scenery, and eventually I made it out. So what did I learn? Well, there are a few things that I learned. First of all, my bear ball protected my food. This is actually 10 years now. I bought my bear ball to my very first solo trip in 2015, and I've been using it for 10 years. I've never had an incident with it. I'm actually giving one away today to one of you lucky people. And my training paid off, right? This is why I always recommend people take courses, because these things sit in the back of your brain and you don't even realize. I was going through those steps. When I got home, I checked my course, and this is the list. And I did every one of those things except for use bear spray or bangers, because I didn't own bear spray then. So I did all that stuff and just went through the list in my head. So obviously, as I said, these are not claw marks. And here's some pictures. Adam Schultz gave me, this one is a grizzly bear, he believes, and another one from my friend Eddie Baxter. Now, bears climb up trees, right? So the marks are going to be vertical, not horizontal, unless they're just swiping for something. And I finally purchased my very first can of bear spray this year. I've taken it on a couple of adventures with me, and I'll be taking it on some more. But after months of reflection, I don't believe that I would have used the bear spray on this bear. I think it would have maybe given me a little bit more confidence. If it was a predatory bear, it definitely would have helped me, you know, in that situation if I needed it. But I don't think I would have used it. And I have decided that I will be bringing it on some of my trips, and it'll be based on where I'm going and what I'm doing. And that's just based on my own personal comfort level in the backcountry, you know, after over 20 years of backcountry camping. But I do know that when I do get to camp, I will be looking for a nice big stick, and I'll be keeping it with me because being big and imposing really did give the bear a reaction, and that was really important. So thank you very much for checking out my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay. All right, let's do some prizes. Somebody ready? Somebody ready for something good? Where's my lovely assistant? Who's coming by? Come on up here. You're going to need to see. Okay, I have some questions. If you've been to one of my presentations before, you know how this works. I'm going to ask a question, and put your hand up if you know the answer. And this lovely lady here is going to point and say who. Make sure she picks you before you yell out the answer, just in case it's not you, and you get the answer away to the next person. But today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to do it by prize, just because of the distance of the room. You know, if you win the first one and you win the second one and you come up before this guy, then, you know, you can get something better. So, all right, so for the Sula grill, it's a titanium grill. It's worth about $150, something like that. Yes, this is a grill. It's amazing. Are you ready? Okay. Ooh. I don't like this question. Okay. I did really hard ones last year. Nobody got the answers, so I don't want to, you know. Okay. What was I doing when I saw the bear the second time? Oh, she's going to go with mine. This is fancy. Wow. Pooping! That's right! Come on up and get your grill. And let me tell you, just a funny coincidence. When I was at New Lake, the very first time I saw a bear when I was car camping, I was walking back from the Privy at 6 in the morning. I just thought that was really funny. Okay, ready? What does the name Bruce mean in English? Who is it? In the blue? Lady in the blue? What? You go.
You got it. Come on.
I'll just stand here and wait. Bruce means brush. Come on. Oh, I didn't say what I was giving away. Shoot. You come and pick. You're close. Sorry. It's my first day. What do you want? You got waterproof socks, pair of keys, a bear vault. Not, you can't have my bear spray. I might need that. And a package from JetBlue. You're taking the bear vault. Congratulations. Okay. Free pair of keys. You ready? Oh, that's too easy. That's way too easy, too. Ding dong. Okay, we'll do this one. You better get ready. What province was I in when I saw her for the first time in backcountry?
You were the first one.
Oh, seriously? Hey! You're I was in Quebec. Lovely province, don't be afraid. Go there, check it out, it's some cool stuff. Congratulations, Vicki. By the way, 4 to 7 days of camping in Canoecopia will cost you $17 total, not per day. Very cool.
Okay, someone in the back.
Someone in the back. Okay, this is going to be hard. Let me see what I got. Leak dry, waterproof socks I wear on all my adventures. Name one thing that you should do from my list when you see a bear. Guy, I see you up there. Be big, tall, and imposing, come get your socks, my friend. You can pick anyone you want online, there's a code. And I have one package left, jet oil.
What's the answer?
Be big and imposing. That's his answer. Sorry, he yelled it out. She's running around, sorry. That's my bad. Okay, last one. I got a jet oil package. There's a shirt and some stickers, a water bottle, and a tube. Lila's got her eyes open there. Come on, Lila. Olivia, Maria. One of you kids, Grayson. Come on. Watch the kids. You ready?
Watch the kids.
Watch the kids. Let's see. When did I do my very first backcountry trip? You going to Olivia? Girl with the pink. Olivia.
Here, I'm coming.
You gotta answer the right answer. My Reese Puff is squishy.
Yeah, we got the ball.
Olivia, don't be shy. Nobody's watching. Just a couple of people. No? What'd she say? Tell me. 2015? That I went on my very first backcountry trip? No. That was my first solo. Elliot. 2002. 2002? Come on, Elliot. What did you win last year? You won a solo last year, didn't you? Here you go, buddy. Thank you so much, everyone. I am truly honored and grateful that you have come to check out my presentation. Thank you for all of you watching my videos and my comments. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the rest of the show, and tomorrow I'll be presenting on capsizing in the Canadian wilderness. Thank you, everyone.
If you didn't make it to the Toronto Outdoor Adventure Show, here's a look at the new canoe from H2O Canoe Company that I'll be paddling this season. It's a 20th anniversary canoe with the symbols of asters, platinum, and emeralds, and there are 20 asters on the boat. I am thrilled to be paddling this beautiful canoe this season, and I am truly grateful to Jeff, the owner of H2O, for his continued support. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please click the subscribe button. Also click the bell for notifications. If you'd like to get more information on the stuff I use on my trips, please check out my website at CamperChristina.com. Thanks. Bye.